So England's Lionesses are just 90 minutes away from becoming the European and world champions. Beth Mead was one of the stars for the Lionesses, Cass, at the Euros last year, winning the Golden Boot. Sadly, an ACL injury has ruled her out of playing a part in this World Cup. But I'm sure Beth still has had a little part to play by just, geeing along her teammates through various forms of communication. I'm delighted to say that Beth joins us now to look ahead to the final. Beth, good morning. How are you?
Morning, Beth.
Morning. I'm good.
Are there any nerves?
Not as much as if I was on the pitch, but yeah, I'm not a great spectator either. So yeah, I'm sure as soon as that game kicks off, I'll be very nervous.
I mean, it's, you've got lots of friends in that dressing room, Beth, haven't you? And, relationships you've had for years, and, you're just willing them on because you've been so close and so tightly knit to this particular England group.
Yeah, and obviously what we did last summer, you can tell what it means to the girls and how close we are with the group. So I know this time round it'll have been the exact same. And like you said, they're friends, they're family. And yeah, of course I want them to do well. And I'm so proud of what they've done so far.
Tell us what you've made then of England's route to the final. How you think they've fared throughout this tournament so far.
I mean, people are always critical of us. Obviously, we've won a Euros now and people expect us to play 10 out of 10 every game. And in football, that's not always the case. I think the girls have got the job done in a few games. They've not played their best football, but they've grown into the tournament and hopefully they're peaking at the right time now. You've seen a Germany or a Brazil get knocked out in the group stage and not played well, but, it's a sign of a good team when, you're not been playing your best football and you're still getting through games. And I think, yeah, the Australia game was probably our best game that we'd played so far. So fingers crossed the next one is even better.
One of the outstanding features, Beth, has been, the 3-5-2 that has worked brilliantly well. And look, initially England struggled, as in not getting goals and didn't quite look it fit, but the coach stayed with it and the players have believed in it. And now you're seeing, obviously the results of staying with something they believed in.
People just believe in Serena, what she does, there's always method in the madness. And because, like I said, we're so close as a team, you trust in each other that you're going to do the job that you've been given. And obviously, like Alessia and Lauren Hemp are playing as a front two right now, and Lauren's thriving doing it, and so is Alessia. So, yes, I think it will have been a little bit weird for them because it's not something we've been used to as a squad, that formation. But yeah, they're thriving under it right now.
You say everyone's believing in Serena Wiegman, and I think that is quite evident. And she seems such a humble person as well. We've talked about her a lot in the build-up to this final already. But how has she changed the mentality of the side from an England team that was always nearly there, were progressing but couldn't quite get it over the line, to now on the cusp of becoming, as we mentioned already, European and global champions?
She instilled a culture throughout the team, the staff, everybody from day one. And, the first press conference she got asked, can you bring it home? And although she has, she instilled to us straight away. And I think us as players always found the pressure of saying, we're going to do well, we're going to do this. And it didn't bring the best out of us. And she turned around and said, you know what, we take a game at a time. And as cliche as it sounds, it took so much pressure off us as players. Instead of people with the expectation, then we get to a semi-final, then we got knocked out again. And obviously the Euros, we went one further than that. And this time round, obviously, again, we've gone one further. So she just brings us such an amazing culture and such a calmness about the team. Like, she's pretty, like you said, she's humble, but she's so calm in everything she does that it just bounces off onto the players and onto the pitch.
Beth, what should England worry about with this Spanish team? Because obviously they've got to the final and all the talks about England. What do you see in the Spanish team that thinks, why it's going to be a tricky game?
Yeah, I think, like you said, everyone is talking about England, but Spain are a tricky side. They nearly knocked us out of the quarterfinals of the Euros, but they're a tough team to play. Obviously, I've played against them a few times in my career, and you do not have the ball very much when you're on that pitch. So your concentration levels as an England team has got to be so high. Your ego aside, you've got to expect not to be on the ball much. You've got to work hard to win it back. And when you do, you've got to do the right things with it, go forward in the right way. And Yeah, it's going to be a tricky game for the girls today, especially one of the last games of the tournament. You're tired mentally and physically anyway, and then you've got a team who likes to pass around you. It's not ideal, but I have no doubt that the girls will, be aggressive and physical with them. And I know Spain don't quite like that. And fingers crossed they can go forward, score goals, and yeah, break some Spain hearts.
I'm going to ask you if you were Sarina Wiegman, what you would be doing with the lineup, because obviously there's the option of bringing Lauren James back into the starting 11. Is that something you would look to do, or would you look to keep with the 11 that started and beat Australia?
It's such a hard one. I think knowing Sarina, not much will change. Obviously, I think, as we all know, I think, yeah, your number 10 is your position that's up in the air with Lauren James being available. But like I just said, there's no right or wrong answer, but maybe I think Ella's probably earned the right to probably start in that game. She stepped up when her team needed to, and because you're not going to have much of the ball, hopefully Lauren can come on when Spain are a little bit more tired and do what she does, come on, score goals and impact the game. And that would maybe be what my option is, but yeah, what do I know? I'm not Sarina specialist, unfortunately. So yeah,
you know her well, Beth. You do know her well.
Maybe not well enough if she starts Lauren then. But no, both girls have been amazing this tournament. Yeah. They do deserve to start.
It is a huge final that we're looking forward to, and no one wants to jinx it, Beth. So we're not going to ask for a prediction or anything like that. But what do you think the legacy of this particular World Cup will be, and how important do you think funding will be for it to continue to grow women's football?
It's been so important. I think that obviously I'm working with the National Lottery at the moment. Over the last 10 years, they've invested 50 million into, women's football, grassroots. I went down to a team the other day who had been invested by them. I actually was invested by them myself when I was younger by one of their schemes, and it's not easy. And the game's even more competitive now that it's becoming increasingly hard. So the support that we can get from, the National Lottery and other programs and stuff like that will be amazing. Because ultimately we try to create a legacy that lasts a lifetime, and for the next generation, to push on. So fingers crossed, people keep jumping on board. And if you're not doing it now, I don't know what anybody else is doing.
Beth, got to ask you, because last November you had an ACL injury, and unfortunately it's cost you the opportunity of going to Australia in the World Cup. How are you now? You feel like you're absolutely up to match speed?
I'm almost there. I'm 8.5 months in of a 9-month rehab, so it's been a long one. It's been tough, but fingers crossed I should be ready for the start of the season, and ready to go. So that's the plan. Fingers crossed it goes to plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, Beth, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. I just want to say I'm a lot older than you. I never got the chance to play football like you've all been able to do. And I just think it's absolutely wonderful what you're all doing. And you have already begun this legacy. There are already generations of young girls who are looking at you all thinking, I want to do that now. So well done to you already. I know there's a lot of work still to be done to make sure that we continue to grow women's football. But I just wanted to say that because I'm absolutely chuffed for what you've all done already. So thank you very much for being with us.
Good luck, Beth.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I mean, incredible. And obviously it's a shame.
It's tougher.
It is, of course, to miss out on something like this World Cup. But equally, she's 100% behind those teammates of hers and absolutely proud of what they've already achieved and hopeful that they can do more.
Just think of it like this, Nat, as how tough it is to take being left out the biggest game in world history of, for women, the World Cup final, and she's a European champion and she's got an injury that's denied her that. That's a tough call, isn't it? You're right. She'll be absolutely behind her team and her friends, and and hope they do brilliantly well, because that's what they're made of. They're made of that sort of character. But it's she'll always reflect back. Hopefully, somewhere along the line, she might get another opportunity.
Well, if you look at what Sarina Wiegman's been saying, because there's been talk about her future, whether or not she will remain as the England manager with the USA looming. But she says she's happy, Sarina Wiegman. She wants to stay. She feels loved by England and the FA and everyone. And you sort of feel if that's the case, then there might be something to continue to build on. And look, the USA have been so successful when it comes to winning repetitive World Cups. Maybe Sarina Wiegman's the person to do that with England and make England the team that starts to win more than one World Cup, for example. They have to get over this one first, of course. They've got to get over the line in Sydney today.
Weekend Sports Breakfast with Natalie Sawyer and Tony Cascarino. Sunday mornings from 6 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.